Huge shout out goes out to our current channel members. If you're interested in gaining a channel membership, then feel free to head over to my channel profile and click the join button. Also, we do have a Ninjago Discord server. It's a great way to communicate with myself and many others. For more details on that, click the very first link at the very top of the description of this video. Now, Lloyd in Ninjago can be a very controversial character. On one side, you have people that absolutely love him and, again, just adore him and love everything about him, and they see all of his character arcs as 10 out of 10s. They just love everything Lloyd. There is definitely a super fan kind of fan base out there in the community that, again, just loves Lloyd. But in recent years, in particular, I'd say, Lloyd has started to get just a little bit more hate, I suppose you could say. Now, not all of it is literal hate, because it is kind of hard to hate Lloyd, just because of how many great story arcs he has had throughout the entire series of Ninjago, but it's kind of for that reason that people do sort of dislike him, or maybe find him just a little bit boring. It's because of all of those story arcs that he has had, and some might even say that the reason he has so many good story arcs is because that's kind of all Ninjago has pushed for quite some time now, is Lloyd, and the other ninja kind of get left out in the midst of that. Now, in today's video, I would like to discuss a very interesting question with all of you today. Now, this question all relates to the focus of Dragon's Rising. Let's call it that. You know, the focal main point / character of this season. Now, obviously, we do also have Aaron and Sora to think about, and I guess you probably could definitely consider those to be the actual official mascots of the season. But let me introduce you to Lloyd, a character that has been, again, talked about a little bit in this particular instance, because Lloyd has had a lot of screen time within Dragon's Rising, and some people, let's just say, are not too happy about that. So today I would like to give my own personal standpoint on all of this, and discuss whether or not Lloyd is once again just kind of being screwed around with by having too much screen time, as the community would suggest. Now, first of all, I would just like to preface this by saying that I definitely do agree with what people have said about Lloyd in recent years, and that is the fact that he has had definitely kind of too much screen time. Even when, you know, let's take the Wild Brain Seasons, for example. Even when they clearly had a different focused character, a lot of them ended up just once again kind of being filled with Lloyd. There was this certain void that was just kind of there as a result of the actual supposed main character of the season kind of just not having all of that focus, but then that's where Lloyd comes in and he suddenly gets a lot more screen time and focus, I suppose you could say. Even if it's not necessarily some huge character arc he's going through, he is just always on the screen, and it's like ever since 2018, Ninjago has just been pushing for this one main character, which, you know, works in some shows, but in the case of Ninjago, I think it's much better when you have this team, and then every year or so within every single season, a different character takes that centre stage. Now, with Dragon's Rising, again, Aaron and Sora are definitely at the centre stage, but just behind them is Lloyd, more so than any of the other ninja. And I totally get that that's because of the whole story surrounding it, but again, you have to look at the other side. Some Ninjago fans are, once again, a little bit sick of seeing Lloyd constantly in their face throughout every single season. For example, what if the roles were reversed and, say, Kai was at the centre stage instead of Lloyd, and Lloyd was still kind of just lost within the events of the merge? You know, the story could still be very similar, but at the same time, there is another side to this that I absolutely believe in, and that is the fact that if Lloyd was just taken, right, and he was the exact same as his 2018 Sons of Garmadon / Hunted self, if they did that and went down that route and just had him with Aaron and Sora, you know, things would definitely be stale. But there is one main reason as to why I think that Lloyd has remained so consistently, like, fresh and just kind of new in Dragon's Rising, and that is the fact that he is taking the mantle of Master, Sensei, whatever you want to call it. He is essentially a new Master, and I've already made a whole separate video recently just talking about how I believe that Master Lloyd within Dragon's Rising is an amazing concept, so feel free to go and check that out if you want. There will be a link to it towards the end of this video if you guys are interested. But again, I think that Lloyd being kind of the teacher to Aaron and Sora in this season is amazing, and that works because of perspectives, because Lloyd, you know, he's kind of goofy, let's just say that. In a lot of instances, he is goofy as a sensei. He is obviously an extremely well-respected ninja, but at the same time, he is not used to being this kind of sensei kind of figure, so for us as the audience, we get to see a little bit more of that. But from Aaron and Sora's perspective, mostly Aaron here, to be honest, they kind of see him as this huge, powerful figure who is mostly knowing what he's doing, but at the same time, slowly but surely, they're also starting to realise that, again, Lloyd is kind of a goofball and doesn't know exactly what he's doing. So those are the kind of the perspectives I'm talking about. But at the same time, I think there is just so much room for growth with Lloyd's story because, you know, we're only in Season 1 of Dragon's Rising. Dragon's Rising is an entirely new series, so while Lloyd is kind of goofy at the moment, I think that, I don't know, take Season 5 of Dragon's Rising, just theoretically, I think that that would have given time for Lloyd to, again, kind of just develop and grow as a sensei-type character, and then we will have a literal mini-sensei woo kind of character, and that is what I think separates Lloyd in Dragon's Rising from Lloyd in, I don't know, let's just say Sons of Garmadon. I think there is so much more difference between those two versions of Lloyd now, and once again, Lloyd is undergoing change. I suppose Misako was definitely right with what she said within kind of the Oni trilogy, right? With that change of Lloyd always changing or whatnot. It's definitely true in this particular case, and I am a huge fan of it. So with all of this being said, in conclusion, I think Lloyd kind of taking the centre stage in Dragon's Rising is a very good thing. And while I may sound critical by saying that, I think that there is so much new layers to Lloyd within Dragon's Rising that it helps differentiate himself between Lloyd in seasons past, and I can absolutely get behind that and definitely can enjoy it. But with all of this being said, that is basically the point I wanted to bring up in today's video, just talking about Lloyd and some concerns I've been seeing with him recently with regards to him taking the mantle and centre stage of Dragon's Rising. But again, with this being said, that is going to cover it for this video here. So with all of this being said, please do feel free to leave any of your own thoughts on all of this down below in the comments. I would love to hear your own thoughts regarding this. As usual though, if you did enjoy today's video, please do leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel for more, and hit the notification bell so that you behind the screen there, and it's you there, I'm looking right at you, can keep up to date on all things Ninjago here on the channel. And with all of this being said, I will catch you all soon for a new one. Well, goodbye everybody, see you all very soon.